So welcome to this video on why does inflation affect interest rates? And I'm sure by now, if you've been paying attention to the previous videos, you'll understand that there is a relationship between inflation and interest rates. But we're going to go into a little bit deeper as to why. Inflation affects interest rates because central banks use interest rates to control inflation. It's the primary tool of monetary policy. Here's a detailed breakdown of how and why inflation impacts interest rates. So, the core relationship is that inflation and interest rates will have a directional relationship, right? Central banks' objective, and most central banks, for example, the Fed, the European Central Bank, and the Bank of England, have a mandate to keep inflation stable, often around that 2% target, as I've spoken about in previous parts of this course. So, when inflation rises above target, central banks raise interest rates to cool it, and when inflation falls below target, they lower interest rates to stimulate the economy and raise inflation. So, why raising inflation leads to higher interest rates and really to kind of slow down demand. So, higher rates make borrowing more expensive, and this reduces consumer spending and business investment. And this causes aggregate demand, easing pressures on prices. When you have higher rates, what happens is that, of course, businesses borrowing and lending from businesses and banks becomes a lot more expensive, and therefore that can reduce obviously not only business but also as well consumer spending, because interest rates are rising on mortgages, and any kind of maybe if consumers want to start businesses or whatever it is they're borrowing money for. Of course, the rate at which they're borrowing becomes a bit too much, which then again, as I said, stifles business investment, or at least starting businesses, as I said, business investment, right? So this will ease pressure on prices, and to anchor inflation expectations, if inflation runs hot, people may expect it to stay high. And so raising rates signals the central bank is serious about controlling inflation and prevents a wage price spiral. And three, to maintain positive real rates. So real rates are basically nominal rates, which is interest rates minus inflation, as we've spoken about earlier. So if inflation rises but rates stay low, real rates turn negative, because again, what is inflation? Inflation is the devaluation of currency. And if the interest rate return you're getting is, let's say, 2%, but inflation is 4%, then real rates or your real return is actually negative 2%. Right. And so that's why maintaining positive real rates is a reason for the central bank to raise rates. So central banks hike to preserve real return on savings and avoid overheating. And why falling inflation leads to lower interest rates. So, to stimulate demand, so lower rates make borrowing cheaper, encourages spending, investment, and hiring. Because again, the opposite of really, if you're hiking rates a bit too much, if you lower rates, then you can borrow for cheap. Then your rate of repaying loans or businesses, and even your mortgage, if you've got a lower mortgage, then you've got more money in your pocket. But in terms of the economy, lower interest rates can and do help with business investment, as well as helping exports and things like that. So it helps prevent deflation or stagnation, and to avoid real rates becoming too high. Now, if inflation drops but nominal rates stay high, real rates rise, and this can choke off a recovery, because if a currency is too expensive, it really actually hurts, not only domestic, but it will hurt exports. So an example of this would be where if I'm, for example, a manufacturer of any kind of goods and services, right? And currently, everyone goes to China. Why? Because China have a really cheap exchange rate. They manage their exchange rate to keep the Chinese yuan very, very uh, devalued and cheap. And so everyone goes to China to manufacture their goods, and then they export it, throughout the world. Now, if I'm a manufacturer of any kind of goods, I'd rather go to China because their currency is cheap. I'm not going to go to a country that has a really expensive exchange rate on a really expensive currency to manufacture goods simply because I'm shooting my own foot, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm manufacturing an expensive product and then hoping to sell it for a profit. Whereas, how am I going to sell that good for a profit if it's already costing me, and the exchange rate and where I'm manufacturing, the country that I'm manufacturing the goods is already expensive. So that, as a manufacturer, I'm not going to go to a country or invest in a country that has too where the currency is too expensive. So that's why, it can choke off a recovery because businesses, and investors are less likely to invest in that country if their currency is too expensive. So central banks will cut rates to keep real rates aligned with economic conditions. And three, why falling inflation leads to lower interest rates is to encourage risk taking and lending, as I've alluded to before. So low inflation often signals weak growth, and lower rates promote credit creation and asset investment. Traders and investors do want, and risk takers do want a lower yield, right? If I can borrow for 0%, or at least a really low rate, then I'm more likely to take a chance on investing, or creating business than I am if my interest rate is something at maybe 10, 15, 20%, right? It doesn't make any sense. I'm definitely not going to take any risks if interest rates are that high. So, inflation trends. So what we have here is when inflation is rising. Right, let me get my pen tool out. One sec. So when we have the inflation trend is here. If inflation is rising, it leads to raise in rates, and this is to cool demand and anchor expectations. And inflation falling typically leads to a cut in rates to stimulate the economy, and this usually to stimulate the economy and avoid deflation. Now, this isn't always going to happen, but I'm hoping that you're starting to see the connection now between inflation and interest rates and what it typically and has the effect it should have on currencies, right? And and demand, etc. So we're seeing the triangle, or we're seeing at least the correlation between inflation and interest rates. And we're going to get onto I guess the GDP as well and how that factors in a sec. But again, we've kind of mentioned things like exports and domestic growth and risk taking, etc., which is all to do with GDP. So in summary, this is what typically happens to interest rates if inflation is rising. And again, this is above that 2% mandate, right? And if inflation is falling below, or seen as falling below, or forecasted to fall below the 2% mandate, 2% inflation mandate, then central banks will try to cut rates to get ahead of that. So, as an example, the Federal Reserve in 2022-2023, inflation surged above 8% in 2022. Fed hiked rates aggressively from 0.25% to 5.25%. As inflation cooled in 2023-2024, the Fed paused and later considered cuts. And actually, they did end up cutting rates. So, as there was some sort of forecast that inflation may overshoot the 2% in terms, or undershoot the 2% and go below that. So, inflation affects interest rates because central banks react to it. It's their main policy lever. The direction and speed of rate changes often depend on how dependent, broad-based, and expected the inflation is. So now, the next video will discuss what factors contribute to rising and falling inflation.